whoa. We talking about water? Starting episode 9 with water?
Hey, that's what we're doing.
You know, man.
This is a serious conversation because I'm excited now.
It is. And
go ahead, Joe.
I like to give the middle finger to all those airports that are forced to sell Dasani water. You need to get out of that fucking deal because that shit is garbage and you're trying to kill us slowly.
Listen,
I think we can all agree Dasani water is absolute fucking garbage.
I will agree because I don't really taste the difference in water depending on what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'll drink Fiji or I drink Arrowhead or whatever it is, and I'm like, oh, this is all water. But that shit, you taste that shit, and I was like, nah.
Taste the tap in it.
Yeah, you really can.
Tap,
like
tap.
Tap. I see the wordplay. Here we go.
You DJs. Tap water is better than Dasani. That's for damn sure.
Talk to him.
And I can't stand them. And it's a Coke product, which is sad.
That's probably why, because they probably put Coke in that shit.
Yeah, but so is Smart Water. Smart Water is also a Coke product.
But you know, they sell alkaline Smart Water now.
Well, now they've introduced it, right? Because it sounds like the key healthy word. You got to tell everybody that alkaline
pH,
water, which.
Yeah. I love that. I drove that shit
from
too.
what I've been told is you're not supposed to drink it all the time. It's
really?
Just sometimes.
Right.
So
why not drink it all the time?
Yeah, I wish I had that part. The follow-up answer for you. But I don't. So somebody I'm sure will educate us.
Yeah. Research something. Listeners, you know, send us why is it not
9 talk, baby.
Yeah, why is it not good to drink alkaline water all the time?
Pure alkaline.
So we've established the worst water. I mean, it's an agreement here. What is your favorite water?
I'm gonna go with Essentia, and Fiji.
I have yet to taste Essentia, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. I have yet to taste it. I've been handed it to a couple of times, like whatever, being in clubs or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
But I never busted open.
Damn, they sell Essentia in the clubs?
Not necessarily sell it. They might have it, you know, little secret stash for the DJs and stuff like that. But Fiji, smart water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I'll take an Arrowhead here and there.
You know what though? If we're talking like most affordable and quality water is Arrowhead. Like the pH levels are right above where they need to be. You know,
I'm kind of a bougie guy when it comes to water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say you're living like the Olive Garden Italian life style with
that
the
would
Fiji.
hurt if I was in Joe's household right now, right?
Feel free to flip this table.
I'm just saying.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Hey, listen.
At least Buka de Beppo.
I'm just saying.
Don't go Olive Garden. At least give him Buka.
Nah, because now Fiji's good.
Yeah,
Fiji's all right. I'll give him a pass.
Fiji.
Joe said he drinks Fiji water.
Fiji is fine.
But what was the other one that you said?
Essentia.
Oh, but you said Smart Water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart Water.
Smart Water. The pH levels suck.
No, because Essentia's good.
I just haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
So yeah. I mean,
and the for those that don't know, the pH levels on they sell in the club Voss.
Voss.
Yeah, the pH levels suck on that too.
I mean, I know there's people who've done tests on all this stuff. Right? Like they've done it. For me, I'm gonna go with Body Armor.
Shameless plug.
Body Armor.
Body Armor.
As my favorite water, but the close ones that I love to drink is Essentia, and this one's the bougiest of all of them. It's called Eternal, and I think they only sell them at Sprouts, is what I've seen. But
Spiffy.
Shout out to Spiffy.
Spiffy approves.
My man knows Eternal water is gas, and it sounds crazy, but you know, living in LA, there's the healthy lifestyle that you're pushed on. I mean, obviously, you know, I still eat what I want to eat. Can't keep these curves.
What's this water we're drinking right now?
That's a great question. It's probably Arrowhead.
Probably Arrowhead.
Or
Aquafina is another no.
Yeah, another no.
Another below the pH level.
Or it's probably Sparklets. That's who delivers.
Sparklets.
Oh, yeah.
We have Sparklets at the store.
That's not bad.
Delivered. But for all you thirsty people out there,
no, it's definitely not.
You gotta diversify your water portfolio, and you know, you'll taste the difference. I think.
Yeah.
And maybe feel the difference.
Joe's a connoisseur in this shit. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say connoisseur. I just drink a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think because, you know,
I just drink a lot of it.
You know, when Mike or myself, we're doing our sets, we're drinking alcohol. You know what I mean? But you drinking water.
But you know what though? I'm a prisoner to whatever water they got, and sometimes they just give you the water out of the fucking
that little thing.
Yeah,
they give you a cup of water. You're like, yo, can I get a bottle of water? And
especially bars, they just give you that tap water. What, yo, what's the water they sell at Costco in Burbank? Carlsbad. Apparently, that's the best. Really? Apparently that's the best Carlsbad. But
that's what I've been getting because I order my water from Costco.
But you get the Carlsbad?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like the Northridge.
It's like a separate one. It's longer bottles.
Oh, never mind it.
Yeah.
Never mind it.
It's like a 10-pack.
Do they have like
but
really
they only
bad
sell them in
branding?
Burbank, right?
Yeah, the branding and everything.
It's terrible.
But the flavor is fucking.
It looks like a house party flyer label.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So if you're getting that
Their
Carlsbad,
water's good. They also have that other brand who makes the sparkling water. What's it called? Panna Cotta or that's some.
Yeah.
But like that one's really good water. It's got like the white with orange label.
Oh, that's the Italian one.
Yeah.
When we was in Italy, that's all we was drinking, baby.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Tell me why we went to the DJ City meet up, link up with Road Podcast. Shout out to Road. And we went to go eat at the Italy. And we went into the restaurant there. And my dude said some shit like, we also have this soda that's infused with like orange and it's Italian. And we're just like, oh, damn, that sounds fancy. And I think it was me and Marvel were like, yo, we'll take one of each.
Yeah.
And it was just San Pellegrino.
Motherfuckers got us. He put the accent on you and
He
everything.
all about the marketing.
And I was like, oh yeah, let me get one. That sounds fire. I'm like, oh, this
$10.
Look at this at Costco.
Yeah.
Damn it. Oh man. Well, shoot. Episode 9.
Yeah.
All right. We're sorry about
Now
the
that
water
you got our
talk.
thoughts on water.
Yeah.
7 minutes of water.
We call it a thirst trap intro. But on the last episode, we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But before we get into that, we had a question. I got a question from a friend who wants to get out and DJ more. He's from LA. He has his residency in LA. He's just doing his thing. And he asked me this club out of state, smaller market, but still a popular market. And I think that's a big part of it. The market has a lot of clubs. So there's a lot of opportunities. So he asked, this club wants me, but they're only paying me so much. End of the day, after I take care of X, Y, and Z, I'm left with this amount. And he asked me, would you do it? And I said, look, because he's turned off by because he's looking at the dollar amount on the table. And I said, look, if you're just going to get a quick bag, or if that's what you want, then it's probably not for you.
Yeah.
If you want to walk away with money, if you feel that you are losing money from your residency because you do some other work for the club that keeps you there, and you feel like you're losing money, then you need to tell them. I think you need to tell them, look, I need more because I'm losing money over here in LA on this night. So I think you need to express that you need more money. Now, you can also look at it as, and this is what I'm not going to say what I would or won't do because I don't need you bookers trying to undercut me and shit. But I will.
You got to give advice though.
But I got to give advice. So this is what you can also do. You can also look at it like this. You can say, I will do it this one time. There's 2 scenarios. I would say, you can do it this one time, or let's do it this one time, and I'm going to kill it. You're going to love me, and everyone's going to have a good time, and you're going to want me back. But if you want me back, I'm going to charge more. So you can look at it like that. And then another way of looking at it is just saying, okay, I'll do it. Or just do it. And then, they're probably going to want you back monthly. Sounds like they're going to want you back monthly. Mm-hmm. So I would do it and continue to go back into that market. And don't look at it as a money grab. Look at it as an opportunity to expand and meet different DJs, meet different bookers in the city, maybe even stay an extra day, get in an extra day early, and meet other DJs and bookers and get to know the community. Because for a few reasons, A, clubs don't last very long, so that club will close down sooner or later.
Yeah.
B, promoters move around, for whatever reason. New club just opened, they just got promoted to do that. They have a fallout with the owners. So promoters will take you to that new club, and then if their people get to know you, then you're going to be good in that club. So it depends on how you want to look at it. If you want to charge a big amount, then and you're not going to get that, and it just doesn't make sense for you to travel, then don't travel.
Yeah.
But if you see it as an opportunity to grow in a city, then why not take that opportunity to get out, get to know these other clubs? And you know what? It'll probably look good on an Instagram for the weekend. If you're interested in the flex and showing that you travel, you'll have that flyer. You'll have whatever else you create of that'll live on your Instagram. So when people go back to looking at you, they see that you're kind of seasoned. You're all over the place.
Yeah.
Because you've probably done other spots too, not just your residency. So that's my take on that.
Is that what you would do?
I'm not going to say I would do that because once again, I don't need these bookers trying to undercut me.
Got you.
Just handing out the leverage.
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm sure that's what his question was. What would you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I'd probably say no. But again, it's all situational or whatever by perspective and all that other stuff. So if it's part of your income, there's situations where it's I could use the money, I'll take it. And then there's other situations where it's just you got to look at how does it withhold with your brand. But I think a lot of you had a lot of good points where with the promoter, it depends who's booking you, right? If it's the venue that's booking you or is the promoter booking you, and then are they paying a promoter more than likely will be paying from their door or their bar. So that budget can fluctuate, right? And then they might want you to prove your value, or you're already providing the value, or are you coming with people? Are you bringing a spender?
Yeah.
Those are the leverages I think that you can have to either up your price or get it down. And then sometimes, there's situations where you're all right, cool. I'll take this amount, but please know that if I outperform your expectations, let's just look at it like businessmen and see that I brought you this spender, I brought you this table, I brought these people. I did something.
Yeah.
Not just showed up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times you could get that whatever amount and, just show up and do your job
and go about your day.
And that's it. And go about your day. Right. And then the other way is work out a multi-gig deal. Right.
Yeah.
Work out X amount so that now you're guaranteed this profit across a certain amount of time.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you know if this DJ reached out to that venue about getting booked or vice versa?
Yeah, that's a good question. I want to say if I'd bet on it, I want to say they reached out to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would say
so. Then he holds a little bit more leverage.
And that's why I told him, I said, end of the day, the ball will be in your court because you either want more money or you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Or you killed it and now they want you back. Or you continue to go out there and you're creating a name for yourself and you're networking and you're going to, in the long run, the ball's still in your court, I think, in the long run, because now you can expand and go to different clubs.
True.
Yeah.
It's nothing's guaranteed at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they would just bring you out for one gig. I imagine there's more, if they're reaching out to you, there's probably more opportunities on the table. You have the LA stamp. You know what I mean? You're a venue you're a resident at one of the hot venues. So why wouldn't they continue?
True.
Being in the LA market.
Yeah.
But
sounds like it would be a good opportunity for him to do it if that's the scenario. Yeah. If they reached out to him, he's holding a little leverage. Like Mike was saying, he can turn it into being a multi-gig thing. He can, create, he can network and expand his brand and utilize it to his advantage. And just get out there.
You just gotta invest in yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You gotta take those risks and those L's.
100%. One other thing I say is look, man, none of us, we're not like Tay James. Tay James can say yes or no to any booking he wants. He can tell you exactly how much he wants, and if not, he's gonna walk away.
Yeah.
So you got to understand where you stand. No matter how hot your club is, no matter where you're coming from, you really got to understand where you are moving forward. Now, there's nothing wrong with saying, no, I want more. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to continue to expand, that's just where the game is now. I'm not saying you got to run yourself thin. You got to take a lot less just to get around. But if it's something you're really interested in pursuing, you got to take these chances, and and unless, like Mike says, it's something that he's not interested in because it doesn't move him.
Yeah, don't make sense.
And that's
for him.
respectable and that's understandable.
Yeah, there's two sides to it, right? Like you could accept it and then expand on and you got to capitalize on doing that, not just show up. Yeah. And then the other side is if you said no, then it's a real thing that you could go ask that venue. I turned them down for that amount. Right? Like,
yeah. And I'm glad you said, go ahead.
No, that was kind of done.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I also told him, I said, look, end of the day, the city's going to know what you're about if they're ever interested again. Because going back to my first example, word's going to get out. You ain't doing shit unless you're getting X amount. Someone else is going to want you. They're going to ask, yo, how much for this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, he turned me down. He wanted too much. What was it? I don't know, whatever. And then it's like, oh, shit. Okay, well, that's what we got to do to get this guy out. Or B, you do it, you kill it, and then you say you want more, then word's going to get out. This is what you're worth,
Yeah. You ever think that tactic would ever backfire though? I
don't think it's a backfire if that's what you want.
Well, it depends on who you want to work with too. Like think about it. Like if you wanted to go to this market and let's just call them a top 10 venue, but your goal is to play in the top 2. Like not playing there could be a better look than playing there.
For a low, low change, yeah.
Like it's just brand consistency because sometimes, and that's sometimes a battle I've gone through where it's like there's some venues I've played that I don't think like might fit where I want to head. It might actually be a weight on my brand to get to where I want to get, but it is a platform. So then I have to decide, or all of us can decide at some point, like, all right, do I want to play here instead of, these next places?
Yeah.
Or go fall within the brand. Because, we could all be verse DJs and cover all genres.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we all do. We all come from that background. But, because, if you play a certain venue, you're going to be labeled a certain, like, if you're a hip-hop venues, you're a hip-hop DJ.
Listen.
If you're a house, house venues, you're a house DJ.
I'm black. I'm automatically described as a hip-hop DJ.
Right.
Right. So, like, I mean, that's, like, the danger of it, right? Like, so you just got to be able to, I think, make the right decisions into what you want to do and what steps you want to take. I think you just have to read that situation.
I think, I don't want to discourage our listeners because I think you can create whatever you want in regards to how you want to, like, to Mike's point, it is kind of a scary thought to think, fuck, if I do this venue, then this venue's not going to consider me because this venue is a lower tier. But then you can also look at it as, I'm going to use this smaller venue to get into the door of the city and then just continue to build and grow because, on the surface, it looks like if you do this, you're not going to do that. You do the small club, you're not going to do the biggest club in the city. But there's always I think there's always a loophole, and one of those loopholes is your relationship with people.
Yeah.
Because I've been in this situation at some point in my career where I was doing a small city, or I was doing a small venue, and I did it for about a year, and it just felt it was time to move on.
Yeah.
But in the midst of that year, I was connecting and having dinner with different people and DJs and bookers, which opened me up to doing bigger, doing the biggest clubs in that city. And, and someone had told me, as long as you're spinning there, I'm not going to book you at my spot. And he had to be really drunk to tell me that. It's not something he wanted to tell me sober. But, and I was already on my way out of that smaller spot. So, I was like, all right, cool, whatever. Even though, like, I think there's more to it than just someone telling you that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I like, you know, there are so many examples out there of like Dre Sinatra used to do, you know, outside looking in on his career. When he was running around with Ray J and he was getting booked, he was killing it. And then, you know, the Ray J thing went away and he was doing smaller hip hop spots in Hollywood, which at the time hip hop was like, you know, it was like 2011.
It's like the
12.
Big Meech area.
No one really like it was no one really respected hip hop like that in Hollywood, you know?
Yeah, the category.
Yeah, Ty Dolla wasn't even a thing yet. He had his
not at that
mixtapes.
moment,
So it was like around that era. So, you know, Dre's doing whatever he has to do. And then he gets with Ty, and now fast forward, he's doing whatever he wants to do, you know? And so I don't want DJs to think if I do this, this is it. It's a wrap for my career.
Yeah.
It's not like that. Things change, people change, music changes, venues change. So do what you feel is right, and ultimately you're gonna learn from whatever it is.
Well, and there's like a counterbalance to that too, right? Like Ty helped Dre like put his name in like a different caliber, but also Dre's been down with hip hop artists and the hip hop culture and working with, you know, people like Amen and Charisma, also people who like have been down with hip hop, you know, beyond when, you know, EDM, if you will, was at its prime.
Yeah.
And, you know, because of that loyalty and consistency, and now there's actual money being thrown into the hip hop side of things,
Right.
of venues. Like, I mean, I spent a day with Dre not too long ago, and this dude's like a machine. Like, the dude is literally going from one gig to another gig to working this concert to working for LAFC to having to record a mix and then do Greystone at night.
Yeah.
Like, in one day. And, you know, I think that's an attribute to the change and how things work. You know, sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's going to be slower, and then your time may come.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
And Dre didn't know like the whole Tide thing was gonna pop off like that.
I don't think so. I think that's just his universe speaking to the hard work that you've been doing.
I mean, there's hundreds of rappers and singers in LA trying to get off, you know? And so that worked out incredibly for Dre. But again, I don't want anyone to be I don't want anyone to think that they can't make something happen. Like, whatever you do what you feel is right. Dre felt it was right to work with Ty, and then it ultimately worked in his favor.
And for the sake of like the conversation, right? You kind of have an experience on the opposite side of that spectrum, where you were doing stadiums and huge Vegas residencies with LMFAO, and then that kind of just peaked. Yeah, and then you had to kind of start over.
Oh yeah, 100%. It wasn't too long ago that I had to start over. So,
and you're just now catching really your like strides.
Yeah.
You know, where you had like this dark time and you had to figure out what venues to just take, and you know, it's like, and that's tougher. Yeah.
And that, and so, you know, it kind of sounds like a Republican Democrat type of conversation, but it's a really good conversation, I think, because there's fine people on both sides that are listening. But no, yeah, I definitely
have to bring Dre on. So there's like a little bit of perspective between the hip hop and the EDM world.
Oh, yeah. But end of the day, it's someone's going through it.
100%.
You know, someone's going through it, and they have to figure their way out in it, and they have to figure their way out of it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, move with the waves, and then see where it stands, as well, being loyal to who you are. Because I think, you know, the other big conversation that some of the people have, and I think there's some resentment on the hip hop side that like people who like were EDM at the time were EDM and like DJs. Yeah. Right? I think there's some resentment. It's like, yo, this is our scene. Like, what you doing jumping ship? Yeah. And then there's the opposite side, right? Where like some guys who were like, no, I'm a hip hop DJ, but then they started producing like house records just to fit in with the mold. Like, I think, you know, just keeping your identity through the like thick and thin is really important, because eventually when that time comes, like you have something already there established. And I think, you know, at the time being a working DJ, like you kind of did have to shift just to like make ends meet, if you will, doing what you love. But also, you know, once you find I think this is just my opinion, but I believe that you can get further in your craft if it's something that you firmly believe in from the get.
Yeah.
Versus like forcing it.
Chasing the wave.
Yeah. Which I think I would love to at some point have a topic or conversation in an episode of just life after DJing kind of thing. Where not necessarily you're done DJing, but like, you know, you have to find something else that evolves from all that time invested networking, like how to really utilize that for a new chapter to diversify your income. Because if you're just counting on physically being somewhere, DJing to your 50, which there's nothing wrong with that. But like,
because we know some 50-year-olds that DJ.
And much respect to them. And they kill it, obviously. But like, at some point, you got to build something around like
all the hard work.
Something, all the hard work that you put in, all those years you put in. Like, yo, you can't be 45 or 50 and then be like, all right, I'm ready to grind. I'm ready to network. Like, my brother. Like,
where you been the last 20 years?
Like, yo, like, you can't do that. I mean, you can, but it's going to be a tougher road.
Yeah.
You know? I'm 35, turning 35 in a year, and I already feel like, man, I'm counting the days before I don't want to step into a club.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? But at the moment, I'm still like, I feel like I'm only getting better with my knowledge, you know? So, you got to just find the life after DJing side. And I think once you get that, and that could mean many things still involved with music. Yeah. You know? But we could get into that whole other time.
The last episode, we talked about catering to either the dance floor or the table and how we approach that, and you know,
just knowing your crowd,
and you know, how do you approach those things? You know, we spoke on having residencies and recycling sets. So I asked a question right before we ended the episode, if you guys, and I think it was more so directed towards Joe, but Mike, I want your opinion on it as well, because Joe travels more than Mike and myself. Is when it comes to preparing your sets, or I shouldn't say preparing your sets, but when it comes to doing your sets in these spots, are you someone that prepares it to where you're playing your songs, you make a list and you're playing it from front to back? Like, all right, I'm going to start it off with my intro, then this song's going to come after, and so on and so on and so on and so on down the list? Yeah. Or are you more so someone that kind of like, all right, I have an idea of the shit that I want to play. Yeah. But I'm going to wait till I get there, try to read the crowd a little bit, and then go from there.
Yeah. I think what I normally do is like 10 minutes before I'm about to go on as the opener's playing, because the opener will ask me, do you want me to leave you off anywhere, or do you want me to go in? Just do your thing, dude. Yeah. Just keep, especially if it's a little slow, do what you got to do, keep people here. I don't care what you play. Just do what you got to do. I kind of go off where he leaves me or within the last 10 minutes. So I will plan. I'll have, I don't know, let's call it 20 songs lined up, queued up, in order, ready to go. Okay. And let's say Shrine in Connecticut, because that's the most open format and the best like responding crowd to me out there. So let's say Shrine, Saturday at Shrine, I'm hitting them with like 5 EDM remix familiar songs. And then I'm dropping it into like 100 BPM back up to 128 and then into some 70 BPM and then just whatever after that. So I'll put out a list of everything I want. And then once I get into it, I'll scrap that list. I'll just I'll just start picking different shit, or I'll pull them out of order. Okay. Because even though I have a set list, the wheels are still turning. Because I don't know how they're going to react to this list. Exactly. I can give you an idea of what I think, how they're going to react. Yeah. And like you said in the last episode, you know, you sometimes you get different crowds. Yeah. So I do that pretty often, where I have the set list, and if I feel like my first 5 EDM songs, I feel like they've heard that at the beginning before, I'll use a different set of songs. Okay. You know, and you know, I'll go into like the first time I did a Friday at Shrine, I'm thinking, all right, it seems like a similar crowd. And then so I start off with one EDM song, and the response, it was good, but it wasn't great like it usually is on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
From that point on, I went down to 100 and just started hitting them with familiar 100 BPM songs.
Okay.
Old, not maybe some new, but stuff they just knew.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do prepare, but I don't always stick by it. And I know I can just not think. I know I can just make my life easier and just play the 20 songs I have lined up. But A, that's not always fun.
Yeah.
B, it's you're not guaranteed though that order is going to work, so the wheels are always turning for me.
So you more so have a structure as a
I
more
have a
so as more so than like plan sets. You have like a structure, so you know it. Okay, this first part of my structure is like you said, it's going to be my EDM stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same EDM songs. Right. It can change, but I know if I'm starting off with this structure and it's not working, I can move on to my second structure. You know,
to me, I have a formula. I know for the first 12 minutes, I know I can keep them interested in EDM for 12 minutes.
Okay.
10, 12 minutes, whatever you want to call it. And then after that, I will grab their interest. I'll mix it up by going down to 100 BPM.
Okay.
For, let's say, another
12 minutes.
Let's say 15 minutes because it's more familiar, more relatable songs. And then I think it's, to me, for most of the clubs I've done, going down to 70 BPM is too soon. Right after, because that's what, if I go on at 12, that's like 12.
That's about 12:30 or so.
That's
right?
about 12:30, 12:45. If I do that, I'm playing the most obvious songs that they know.
We're talking about Cardi B-ish type stuff.
Cardi B, Paris.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that, and then I'm probably working my way back up to 100, and then 128 if I think they still want it. Okay. But sometimes clubs the crowd just wants you to get the 128 out of the way early on, and then you realize it's not hitting them as hard as it should. So I probably won't go back up there. But I have a formula set.
Yeah.
Okay. And within that, and things can change within that formula. But to me, that formula is always guaranteed to work. Now, if it's a more of a hip hop club that you still mix in remixes, I'm not talking like a pure hip hop club, but if it's a hip hop club where you can still mix in reggaeton or remixes or
more of a top 40 club,
moombahton remixes or whatever, I'm probably starting off with 100 BPMs.
Okay.
And then I might jump out to 128 with like familiar shit they may know, and I'm quickly getting out of that and going somewhere else, 100 or 70. But I don't people are going to feel one way or another about sets, about how they have their sets lined up before going in.
Yeah.
And that's fine, to each his own. But to me, that formula works all the time.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's what I roll with every time.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
I mean, in regards to just like, do I have like sets that I kind of just go to, or like?
I'm saying like if you walk into Playhouse,
and
your set is 2 hours long, and you got a planned set for 2 hours. Let's not even say the whole 2 hours. We'll say we'll say an hour and a half, because that last 30 minutes is. You can throw it up in the air. People are walking out. It's a free for all. So let's say an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
You got a planned set. I mean, you know exactly every song that you're going to play, one right after another, as opposed to going in there, seeing what the crowd is giving you, and then choosing what you want to play or what direction you want to go into.
Yeah.
From there.
I mean, well, first the opener dictates a lot, right? Like the energy that you're being left off of. If they're banging them out like before I'm on, then I kind of have to like go into this mentality of like, I'm going to reset the room a little bit.
Yep.
Because I'm not sure where he went before I even stepped in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I need to kind of level things out a little bit and then start to play like bangers, if you will. Because with an hour, especially at Playhouse, which I have a lot of fun with, but it's also one of the tougher rooms in the city in regards to you really have to like walk people through the experience. Yep. And so I've had nights where I felt really confident there and I've done a great job to the point where like I've been brought back, but there's also been times where like I've gotten good feedback, but I also didn't feel very good about it, right? Because I'm not sure if the table's closest to me, like where their vibe was, or if I was doing this. So, you know, it's all about reading that. And so anyway, I start with the opener and where they went and what their vibe is. And then after that, it just comes down to, you know, going into what I think will work.
Yeah.
And so for the most part, what I do to set that up, because back like 2012 and till about 2015, like I was really on some like mini sets, you know, the wordplay, the tricks, the different stuff like that. And then now, like, I'm very distant from that. Like, I do a lot of on the fly, reading the crowd, typing in a lot, you know, like, I'll purposely, what I do is, I'll export, like what I played a certain night at a certain club, and I'll put it into this folder, and then that folder kind of turns into its own main folder. And then if I'm playing a hip hop venue, I'm gonna have a hip hop like sets. And then what's for me, and we could dive a little deeper into this part, but the way I organize my music these days, it used to be genre based, but I more so organize it by time, like the date that I pulled the song. And so I know how far back to go because it's just a reference for me versus like type into the hip hop and then there's all types of different hip hop. Right? You could break that into whatever, you know, off the top of my head. I used to break down hip hop by like hip hop rap, hip hop golden era, hip hop, you know, whatever, hip hop 90s, right? Like whatever. And so there's so many subgenres that at a certain point, once you start doing enough gigs, I just throw actual gigs because it's like, okay, at some point in my career, I've played this song inside of a club. That means it's club playable. Not everything has that impact that's in your library. And so that's usually what I do is I just have a reference crate and then I'll go to the more recent download pools because that's where I might introduce a new record or like I want to play this record, you know, into that. And then I'll also do the same thing for different kinds of venues. So if it's like hip hop or open format, at that point, anything I've ever played at a club is in one folder. And then I'll just bounce, you know, bounce around and do whatever. But I've distanced myself from doing any like set playlists. Every now and then I've messed around with the idea of a couple tricks that I've never like put out to the world. I'll test them out like in live. And see how it goes. But I don't focus on that as much as I do as just reading the energy, reading the crowd. I've always had this like idea that, you know, doing your night is like a canvas, right? Like a blank canvas, and the opener being there, like you're trusting somebody with the paint and the foundation because their job is to lay down the foundation and the background, and it's your job to make it exciting and finish it and like make it look dope. If you're not on the same page, sometimes that picture gonna look crazy at the end of the night. Man. You know? So sometimes you gotta just, you know, I think that's why I also enjoy sometimes like if I have the night to myself, DJing wise. And then but then, you know, when you get the right guy to do the night with you, it's like, you know, you can end up with a masterpiece.
Absolutely.
What about you, bro?
I mean, I'm more of a freestyle, you know, just based off of what Miki says, you know. When we're talking about preparation, I will store all my my music in a genre set type of folder, but then I break them off. Basically, I do it off of venues. You know what I mean? So if like, all right, we talked about, you know, residencies and stuff like that. So I know I spend that X amount of spots, right? You know, you spend that X amount of spots, whether that's Shrine, Grand, wherever, right? So I spin out these spots. So I'll have, okay, this folder's labeled this spot. And then I'll throw everything in there that I have an idea of stuff that I want to play. So everything that I have an idea of, I'll throw in that folder. And I even gotten to the point where I'll break it down to like, okay, this is more of, I'll do my best to get to a spot at least 20 minutes to 30 minutes before my set. Because of the opener. Right? To see what the opener is going to play. I know in the 30 minutes before my set, obviously I'm not repeating those songs. So, but I'm at least not repeating any songs 30 minutes that were played before I got there. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Whatever was before that time, I got no control of it. If I happen to play a song that he played 45 minutes, an hour before I got there, then that much time has gone past. The switch has been changed. More people are in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll pretty much, be fine. You know what I mean? It won't be like people are looking at me like, yo, the song got played already 10 minutes ago. Yeah. What are you doing? But if I run into a scenario where I can't get there 20 to 30 minutes, I always ask the opener if I can look at their history.
Okay.
I'll look at their history and I at least try to scan what they played in the last 20 to 30 minutes.
For sure.
That way I can go, okay, cool. I see where your vibe was, and then I can feed off of that.
Has everyone reacted positive to that?
For the most part, people are cool about it. I have gotten some dudes that looked at me sideways, like, why you want to see my history for it? And I'm just like, and I have to explain to them, yo, I just don't want to play some shit that you played already. That's all it is, because I wasn't here, whatever the reason why I got to my gig with 10 minutes or 5 minutes to spare. So I try to do that, but I've broken it down to where I'm like, okay, all right, my first, like you said, I have pretty much of a structure. Like the first 10 to 15 minutes is more of like the warm up for what my set could be considered like a warm up. Like I got to get my hands right. I'm cold. I'm going in there cold. I got to get it. Okay, cool. I know. Then it's what I would consider like quick energy. Now I'm going to build this energy up. Yeah. Right? So that means I'm burning through tracks. So I find tracks that are familiar that I can burn through. Like I could just play the hooks, get out of them, boom, 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 knock them out. So that's another X amount of songs. And then we jump into the climax. That's when we're getting around that 1 a.m., 1:15, and the bottles are flowing, people are having a good time, people on the dance floor are pretty much drunk, and then I'm hitting them with familiar shit. Now that's usually my structure, but I do my best to look at the crowd and seeing what it is. And sometimes I walk in and I got to jump right to the climax, structure of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm just like, all right, cool. We going to go here. City Girls, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Or, whatever the scenario, whatever song is it right there. And it's just going from there. So I'm more of a throw all the songs in one folder and just bounce around. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's times where I'll open up my set with 7 BPMs. There's times where I open up my set with 100 or 115 or something like that. Yeah. So I'm all over the place depending on the crowd, what it is. Because I've done, like you said, we've got residencies, but I'm getting different crowds every time. You know what I mean? I can go in and be like, all right, I know these songs will work. I know this opener is going to play the same shit, and I can go down and do this shit, but I don't know that I'm necessarily going to get the same crowd that I got the last time I was here.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to walk in there and be like, okay, I can think I'm going to get the same crowd, but I'm not. So I'm going to read it, see what they're responding to, what the opener's playing, and then just base it off of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen scenarios where guys will literally play down a list.
Yeah.
And the only time I've seen it go their way is when it was a showcase. You know what I'm saying? When it was your showcase DJ scenario, obviously.
Yeah. Different situation.
I mean? Different situation. Yeah. That's the only time I've seen it go well. Where the DJ doesn't even need headphones. He knows his routine. He's going one song, second song. He knows where he's going. He knows where it's going to come in or whatever. But I've seen guys go down the list and it just backfired. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? First of all, he just played that shit, a couple of minutes ago. Like, you're not reading the crowd. You're playing this because it fit in your set, but it's not fitting the atmosphere or the vibe of the spot that you're in. So, and I know of, and I've seen a lot of DJs do that, and I'm always curious of why. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, what is your mindset behind doing something like that? Because is it you just trying to play safe? Is it that you're just comfortable doing that? Are you used to doing spots like that? Like, and I said, it would make a little bit more sense for cats that are traveling, do more of, I don't want to say do more of EDM stuff, but, more of the house stuff, because for the most part, in those scenarios, people are coming to see you do your thing, as opposed to just coming to the venue because it's a dope venue.
Right.
Not knowing who the fuck is on the bill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when that's the scenario where we're coming to see you do your thing, you could play down a list. They gonna react to whatever the fuck you play.
Yep.
So you can play down the list as opposed to like, yo, this is a dope club. Oh, who's spinning tonight? Oh, such and such. I don't really know that person. Or I've seen I've known of them spinning here before. Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
And then you just got to, play to your crowd and just be able to read your crowd. So that's why I'm always curious. I'm curious to the listeners as well. What do you guys do? Let us know what you guys do. Do you play down the list? If you play down the list, that's your forte. I'm just thinking that's, in my opinion, I don't do that. And I've seen, in my experience, I've seen it fail in a lot of cases. But if that's what you do, then, by all means. Or if you're more of a freestyle kind of person and you just kind of go in there, read your crowd, and you're bouncing all around.
Yeah. What was crazy is like times, like again, DJ technique and like style has like evolved, right?
Mm-hmm.
We, all three of us kind of came up in an era where AM was like the man, right? Or at least the most successful DJ to come like into the scene without actually having a song or record.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Like not that kind of an artist. And so in many ways, you kind of emulate what is successful.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so at the time, the tricks, the word plays, the different things like that, those things were dominant and what could get you a gig, because like, oh, that sounds real similar to the guy that's doing the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as time has gone and, AM's spirit still lives on, of course, because of his impact. And I think a lot of what we do today wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for what he's been able to do.
Yeah.
And everybody else around him. But there isn't really that guy other than like, for me personally, who I would always look to after that was kind of Four Color Zach.
Yeah.
Who brought in Tone Play at the time. And now that's kind of phasing out.
Yeah.
Right. And so what does that sound like? And I don't think there's really sets like that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think people look at that.
Yeah.
People look more to, at least in LA, you're looking at more like the guys who use the mic.
Yeah.
Shout out to episode 5 or 6 or whatever.
Whatever number it was.
I think it's 6. And so, you see more of that style evolving. And so, I think more than ever, you just gotta read the crowd, man, and like read the situations, and anything can happen, because the reality is the hottest record on the charts could work just as well as a record that's just charting on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Because of just how social media works.
Pop Smoke.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great example. From my understanding, I'm not completely like I'm personally, I don't know if I'd like want to hear that on a daily in my drive.
Yeah, man.
But my understanding is it's the biggest record in New York.
Yeah, it is, man.
Or
East Coast. I got to put it on there early because of these little ass kids, man. And it's huge.
And so it's a huge record.
It's huge.
I saw it played in Vegas like 2 days ago.
No reaction.
Like complete lost. But there was a table or two that were just wilding out.
Yeah.
And so like, if those guys were the ones spending the money, then like honestly, it's a win.
Yeah.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, that's a great example.
One thing that I want to touch back on that both of you touched on was, you said it takes you about 15 minutes warmed up and get things right.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike said the example of sometimes the opener comes in too hot and he has to mellow it out for 10, 15 minutes. There are a lot of clubs that you probably spin in, not you two, but that you, the listener, probably spins in, and you don't realize that they're not ready to go at 12.
No.
They're probably ready to go at 12:15, 12:30. So you have to find songs. You have to be aware that there are songs that you have to play if your crowd's not ready until, let's say, 12:20.
Mm-hmm.
If your crowd's not ready to go, you have to find songs that keep them interested, but not bangers off the bat, because you can't force them to be ready.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and traditionally, what I'm used to is 12 o'clock, crowds are ready to go. Shrine is ready to go at 12.
Mm-hmm.
Grand's ready to go at 12. So I hit them off the bat with that. But there has been a situation where an opener just fucking, she didn't burn me. She doesn't know any other mode but sicko mode.
She burned you.
She just
say what it is.
No, well, here's the thing. All she does is festivals. So she doesn't have an opening set. I'd put my money on that. She doesn't have an opening set.
Got you.
She just knows how to go hard. So she went hard before I went on. And I'm like, this is real intense at 10:30 and it's written all over everyone's face. So I have to have the knowledge of my crates, of my music selection. I have to know what songs I need to play that aren't, that still maintain the energy, but I'm not going to burn myself.
Yeah.
Because I need to simmer this shit down a little.
Yeah.
You know? So I play like 10, 15 minutes of familiar songs, but shit that just wasn't so hardcore, you know?
You hit the reset button.
I hit the reset button and then I jump back into it and hard, you know, where I thought they should be. But again, you got to understand, just because you're on at 12 doesn't mean you need to go hard at 12.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and you know, what I recently did was I told the light guy, give me 2 songs, because they play your images and whatever. You know, they do something special with the lights when the headliner gets on.
Danger has an intro, so he's kind of like, you know, he's a little bigger.
That's why I said intro.
And I have visuals, and there's moving visuals and all kinds of shit. So I told him, I said, look, give me 2 songs, keep it, you know, keep the lights where they are, and when I play my intro, you'll hear my name's all over. It says it's like 20 times DangerZone. That's when, you know, the next song will be my first song. Mm-hmm. So do what you got to do with the lights when I play my intro. So, you know, you got to be able to, if you're in that situation, you got to communicate that to the lighting guy or sound tech or whoever's controlling the boards. But again, you don't have to go hard at 12.
Yeah.
You know that your crowd may not be ready. Ask somebody, yo, what time does it really pop off in here? Every spot I go into in Hollywood, a hip hop spot, the headliner goes on at 12:30. Yeah. But from my knowledge, from what I see with my own eyes, it really doesn't jump off till 12:45.
Yeah, 12:45.
So you got to do something within those 15 minutes that's still hype, separates you from the opener, but you're not burning yourself.
Exactly.
Well, Rell and I come from a background of you mix out of whoever's opening from you, and your goal is to sound like them because you want the crowd to not feel this abrupt change. Yeah. And then it puts like this different kind of pressure into how you're going to do the next couple minutes. Mm-hmm. And while you're getting settled in, you're still trying to like even figure out how you're comfortable, because some equipment could be set up a certain way. Exactly. You might have a wired mic, you might have a wireless mic. The laptop stand could be in front, on the side. Like, you got to get accustomed to what your environment is before then you could just boom, hit them with a big hit or get on the mic, introduce yourself. You know, I always tell, and it's funny you say that, because there's definitely venues that want you to smack them right over the head out the gate. Yeah. And like, dudes are like, all right, cool, you ready? And it's like, nah, bro, hold on. Like, let's get there first. Let me reset the room. Mm-hmm. Let me reset the vibe. And then once I'm comfortable and I know both decks are working, you know, exactly, anything can happen. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Make sure the CDJs are linked up, or I don't have a bad needle, if you will. Like, all those things have to be right before you could really go. And I have, as you were talking about it, I thought of this like metaphor. This could go really good or really bad. So all I'm going to say is that it's like encountering your partner in bed, and you have to make sure that you've done all the right things and set up all the foreplay beforehand. Mm-hmm. Like, get a little coconut oil, massage her or him if you're a woman DJ out there. But you got to set up the vibe to the right time to when you can really get into it. Exactly. You can't just start. You know what I'm saying? And go ham.
Look, there's a time and place for banging it out. Yeah. But
just know when and where you can do that.
Okay. But those people but the times that you wanted to bang it out, did you really care?
Yeah. No. That's a good point.
Yeah. So if you really care about your crowd, you really care about your night, you're going to build into that.
You're going to put it in that preparation.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're going to get them led on, and then when the time is right and you finally go in, it's on.
It's on.
You know, I feel like we're about to wrap it up now, but one thing I want to jump away. Hey, I see what you did there. Hey, all right, y'all nasty. Y'all nasty with it. All right. Oh, man. I hope motherfuckers are still wearing condoms in 2019.
I don't think they are, bro.
It's just I'm out of that game. It's just unpopular opinion. I'm not saying. I mean,
But one thing I wanted to jump back to at the beginning of the episode, we talked about the my friend looking to get booked out of town. One thing I recently experienced was getting into, and I kind of wanted us to touch on this as well, but I think it's important to get into a city a day early or stay a day later. Mm-hmm. I kind of talked about it, but I think it's very important because so you can get to know what the city likes.
Yep.
Right? Like you're coming from one city and you know, especially if you're coming from LA where it's a very specific sound.
Yeah.
If you go to another city, they're probably not going to want to hear Pop Smoke or any of that other stuff. So it's good to get out and hear what the DJs are doing as much as you can, bounce around. Another reason why it will be good to get into a city early. I got into a city early. And I was just there to chill again, just to get the, check out the DJs, support some friends. Mm-hmm. And a friend hit me up saying, yo, can you cover for this guy? There's a miscommunication with the booker. Yeah, I'm off tonight. I got you. So then he said, okay, contact this other guy, contact the booker. I said, oh, I know the booker. I've been trying to get booked for him for a year at his other venue, and he hasn't responded. So I said, this could be a good opportunity to, you know, do my thing and then work more with this booker.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him, and again, like I've been reaching out to this dude for a year without getting upset for not responding. Even when I saw this guy in person, I didn't even ask about a booking. I just kept it cool, talked about whatever, and you know, and just left it where it was. So reaching out to this dude for a year. Now he says, "Hey man, we appreciate you covering for us. We made a mistake. You know, glad you can help us out." I say, "Well, you know, hopefully if it all works out, maybe now you'll book me at your other spot." Ha ha ha. You know. And
did you put the ha ha
ha? So then, but yeah, I did. You know, keep it light. Mm-hmm. I don't want to make it seem like I'm telling him what to do, which I'm not, but just putting it out there. So then he said, "Yeah, you're doing us a favor, so I you know, we can definitely have that conversation." He didn't need to say that. He didn't need to say any. He could have just said, "We'll see."
Yeah,
we just
didn't
appreciate
have to respond.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't have to respond. I didn't need an answer, like, you know. But he said, you know, yeah, if tonight goes well, let's talk. The night went well, and I took a lower rate to fill in that night. Now I'm getting a booking at my full rate at the other spot.
Nice. And
shout out to him for respecting that rate and not saying, "Yeah, but you did our first spot for this amount, a lower rate. You know, why? He could have worded it and done whatever he did." But you know, big ups to him, and because he asked me when you talk, because I even talked to the owner about getting at this other spot, and even then I knew the owner's not gonna, like, even though you are the owner and you cut the checks, he's still not gonna be able to get me booked because I just don't feel like that's how it's gonna work. It's not that easy. Yeah. Some cases it is that easy. So then, yeah, even asking the owner, it didn't work out. So big ups to this guy, this booker, for sticking to it, honoring my rate, and giving the opportunity. Again, sometimes these things happen when you go into a day early, or if you take a lower rate, shit happens. So, man, I can tell we got low energy on the second episode.
This is terrible.
Yo, so for those of you who don't know, you see us in the same shit as the last episode. We're pulling a 2-day, and we just can't come to the office next week. But so excuse the same look. No, you're not seeing the same episode. This is a different episode.
This is a different episode.
This isn't episode
extension
8
of the last episode.
And yes, our energy is
very
low.
Look, we had a little curveball. I got lost in whatever the fuck we were saying.
Yeah.
We DJcity, let's just say our set might change pretty soon.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a budget, I think. Jesus Christ.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
But yeah, don't mind us if we're low energy here at the end.
So again, please send us questions. We're introducing them in the show, at least one question, and then episode 10, which is the next episode, we'd like to have that episode dedicated to your questions, your concerns, your clashes of insight, etc. So repost question, and I think we're going to put up a banner. We're all going to put up banners on stories saying with the, you know, give us a question.
Yep.
A DJ, well, whatever.
We'll do that.
Anything related question. And And so, yeah, again, we appreciate the support. Continue to repost. And yeah, we are out of here.
Yeah, I think that does it for episode 9. Good
9.
Lord.
And we're moving.
9. Sí. Episode 9.
Yeah.